Hello, Dave Ramsey Crazies. Thanks for watching. My name is Philip, and today we're going to cover baby step 2. Baby step 2 of Dave Ramsey's plan and his 7 baby steps. First, you have to understand we got to get past baby step 1, which is having that $1,000 emergency fund. We've already discussed that. We've gone through it. It's great. Now you're ready for baby step 2. Baby step 2 is where we start to eliminate all of our debts that we have, starting from the smallest payment, working ourselves up to the largest payment. So let's say that you've got a $20 credit card payment, a $45 credit card payment, a $200 car payment, a student loan, whatever it is. Okay, start with your minimum payments and hit the smallest payment as hard as you can. If it's $10, $20, $30, just pay it off. If you've got to throw extra money at it, if you've got to sell stuff, pay that little debt off. Now, once that's paid for, go to the next smallest debt and throw everything, including that smallest debt payment you were going at, and throw it into the second smallest, all right? And go and go and go. Once that's paid off, take everything that you've been paying up to this point and throw it to the third smallest payment, and the fourth, and then the fifth. What it's supposed to do is create small wins so that as you are seeing each debt go away, that's your motivation to keep on wanting to do this thing, to keep going, to keep working hard, to getting rid of your debt. Okay? Because you're going to see this credit card get paid off, then you're going to see your car get paid off, then you're going to see student loans getting paid off. I don't know, whatever the order is. You're going to see it happening, and it's going to be like another win, and it's going to be like a mind thing for you. It's like trying to work out. If you're trying to lose 20 pounds, you don't try to lose 20 pounds in a weekend. Okay, this kind of takes time. All right, you lose 2 pounds one week, and then you see 4 pounds of total loss the next week, and then 6, and then 10, and then 12. You've got to build up. You've got to see your results. And doing this, starting with the smallest to largest, is going to help you see those results as you're paying off debt. Now, mind you, this could take time, all right? This isn't a 2-week period, especially if you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars worth of debt. Okay, so you've got to start small, and you've got to realize this is going to take time. It's going to take hard work. Now, I want to take this and kind of tell you where I'm at in this process. So right now, I'm very blessed. I'm a Christian, so I'm very happy to say that God has taken care of me, and He's provided all my needs up to this point. And through my college, I went to a cheaper college to go to. It was about $30,000 to cover all 4 years. So, there really wasn't a whole lot to have to worry about. It was about $10,000 a year, and then my 4th year ended up getting paid for by a scholarship. So, I was only about $30,000 out of pocket. I was able to make payments as I went, and I graduated debt-free. Right now, my car, it's a hand-me-down. My grandma gave it to me for $1,000. My wife's car, it was given to her from her parents. So we have been blessed. We both graduated debt-free, went to the same school. We have no debt. The home that we're living in now, it's owned by somebody else, and we're renting the house from them. So right now we're blessed. We're debt-free, but I want to kind of take this thought of getting out of debt, and I want to kind of switch it around, because this is what I'm doing for myself. I'm looking into the future. So sometime down the road, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's a year, whether it's 5 years, whether it's 10 years down the road, I'm going to have to get a new car at some point. Whether it's, when I say new, I'm not necessarily saying brand new. I'm referring to, new to me, of course. But at some given point, that's going to have to happen. So when I see that happening, if I'm trying to stay out of debt, what should I do to, help with that? Well, I think it's going to work kind of the opposite way. You see something down the road, and you kind of make a rainy day fund almost for it. So, for example, let's just kind of go crazy with it. All right, let's say in five years, I want to buy a car that costs $35,000. Okay. What I'm going to do is, at this point, I'm going to save $500 a month. Okay, so 500 times 12 months, that's $6,000 a year, and in 5 years you have $30,000. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find that $35,000 used vehicle, and I'm going to try to write a check for $30,000. and I'm going to negotiate, and I'm going to find the right vehicle, even though it might take some time. I might have to be patient with it. I'm going to write a check for that car, and it'll be paid for. It'll be mine. It'll be clear. No bank notes, none of that. I have the title in hand. So that's kind of what we're shooting for here. And that's what I'm doing now. Right now, my wife and I are making car payments to ourselves so that one day when we need a car, we'll be able to write a check for it. Now, that's going to get kind of complicated, depending on, hopefully both of our cars don't wreck, or hopefully, we don't have to replace them at the same time or anything. But if anything, right now we have some money set aside for a car if we had to. Now, what does this do? As a car salesman myself, I can kind of see where, this is going to have benefits to it. So let's say that you're taking a loan out on a car, right? You got to make your payments on it every single month. Plus you're paying interest. If you're doing it the method that I'm talking about, what you're doing is you're going to be saving yourself cost and interest right then and there because you're paying cash for the car. So instead of having, let's say, depending on where your credit is, if you had a 10% rate, okay, you're going to be paying an extra 10% just in interest alone, which is going to make your payment much higher. Secondly, people come on hard times. We can't always help that. And so let's say that right now, if I had a car loan and I was paying $500 a month towards my car, and all of a sudden I have some great emergency happen. Well, now I'm stuck and I'm having to pay $500 a month for it. Now, if I miss payments, that's going to hurt my credit. Okay, it's going to hurt my payment, or it's going to get me behind on my payment. It's going to hurt my credit. Now, that's not good, okay? I've dealt with people who have high credit scores and low credit scores, and one of the biggest things that happens in the car business is when people start missing their payments and getting behind, then everything goes downhill from there, and it's not a pretty thing to see. And unfortunately, I have to turn a lot of people away every single month because they've gotten behind on their payments and they don't understand the ability, or having the ability to pay cash for a car because they don't plan. Now let's take this and let's say you're saving up for a car, right? You're putting away that $500 a month instead of spending that $500 a month. Now, what's this going to do? Let's just say that hard times happen, okay? And all of a sudden you are unable to make that car payment. Okay, big deal. If you can't make the car payment, it's fine, because what you're doing is you're paying yourself. If you can't pay yourself that month, it's not going to hurt your credit. It's just going to put you 1 month behind on having to pay, or you're going to be $500 short. You're going to be 1 month behind of that goal down the road, and you'll just have to wait another month to get that extra $500, you see. So it might hurt you, so to speak, because, you're getting behind on what you were doing, but, that's your money. So that money isn't owed to anybody else. You're putting that money aside for your own savings. And that's what it's designed to do. It's supposed to help you so that you can buy that car, you can pay cash for it, but it works with a ton of other things. If it's, a really expensive computer, if it's a washer and dryer. My wife and I have to buy a washer and dryer in the next month because we're about to move into an apartment. And right now the washer and dryer we have is included with our rent. But that could be a $800, $900, $1,500 expense, depending on what you go with, depending on what kind of sales you might find, what brands, if you're going for low end or high end, whatever it may be. If this is going to happen, go ahead and start putting money away. Even if you look at the roof of your house, eventually the roof is going to have to be replaced. Now, I know this is going to something even to like maybe an extreme, but you know what? If you've got little bits of money set aside for house maintenance, knowing that in 10 years, 20 years, that roof's going to need to be replaced again, well, you've got the money set aside. That's kind of how I do for my phone bill every year. Every year I pay my phone bill a full year in advance, and every single month I just put the money aside so that when I have to pay it in December, which is actually coming up soon for me, I have the cash and I can go ahead and pay for another year without having to go into debt. It's a simple process to understand. It's hard to do at first if you're behind, but this is what this debt snowball is going to do for us. It's going to get us to that point to where we owe no money anywhere, except for maybe the house. The house is a big one. We leave that one out in this step. But, everything else we're paying for. And so having those, once you get to that break-even point and you can start paying yourself ahead, trust me, you're going to see some huge results. That's what we do for our phone. That's what we're doing for our car. Right now, we're even doing it for our house. We take every little bit extra and we put it aside for a house. You know, we're not necessarily going to pay cash for our house, but someday we do plan on buying a house, and to have that extra money aside really helps you get ahead of the game. But that kind of goes through baby step number 2, helps you get an understanding of what it's going to do and how you can actually, once you get out of debt, you can use that and still get past your debt. And you can avoid debt for the future. So that's it for baby step number 2. Hopefully I'll have baby step number 3 up, which is a really fun topic to discuss. I'll actually probably have my iPad out and start talking numbers to you and stuff like that. But that'll be a fun talk too. So we'll see you for baby step 3 soon. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.